everyone, Cleo here, welcome to my channel and welcome to day 7 of Bookmas 2018. Cannot believe that this is already 1 week of me filming and editing almost every video, almost every day. I mean, I try to combine filming videos as much as possible, but I do end up having to edit almost every single day at the moment and filming at least every other day or something like that. And actually for my 24 days of Christmas book tag I actually do have to film every single day, so yeah, it's been quite a hectic period, so I hope I can make it up until Christmas. But so today we are discussing the disappointing books for 2018, and I have to say I'm quite pleased that I do not have that many. So all of these will be new ones since I have only discussed my top 10 books so far and my surprising books. So this one's definitely didn't make it into the top 10. Actually, one is quite near to it. It is, so it will be the first one that I will mention, and that is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Ness. Don't get me wrong, I do not hate this book, I do not dislike it, I actually liked it. The problem was I was expecting more, because I read the Chaos Walking trilogy, it's called, I think, so Knife of Never Letting Go in its sequels, and I really liked that one, and so I was expecting more out of this. It very much felt like a YA for me, so it was like a mix between YA contemporary and YA fantasy, but it was just too much YA for me. So I mentioned it in my previous video that YA for me sometimes gets too tropey, and I sometimes feel like the language annoys me. And it is very fun that this book kind of takes its own spin on the traditional tropes. I did feel like the language overall was what was most problematic to me, and it is also more a contemporary than it is a fantasy. So the concept behind this is that we do not follow the heroes in like some sort of epic fantasy story, but we actually follow like the side characters, the ones that are just there in the background, the extras, let's say, for example. So they are the persons who are just witnessing these events taking place, who do not play a central role in them. And while the book explores some very interesting themes, some very interesting ideas about identity and things like that, I did feel that, to me at least, it fell short. And so I think I gave it a 3-star rating in the end, which to me means that I don't know, did I like it, did I not like it. Usually that's a 3-star read for me, is more of an indication that I cannot make up my mind about it. So I was hoping for this to be a very good read, but it was an okay read. I mean, it let me down, so that's why it's in this list. The second book that I will mention I do not own a physical copy to, and that is Legion by Sanderson, which means that both my best book of the year and one of the worst books of the years were by Sanderson. So that definitely goes to show that it's not necessarily because a book is by a certain author that you will like it, or that you must immediately say like, that's not for me because I read something by that author and that was horrible. But so yeah, I absolutely loved Sanderson's Way of Kings and Words of Radiance, but Legion was not for me. And I should have known this in advance, but I still went into it hoping for a different outcome. But Legion is pretty much a sort of detective, police procedural type of format. It's a novella as well, so it's very short, and I guess that was part of the problem with it, though I haven't read other Sanderson novellas, so I wouldn't necessarily say that the problem is just due to the fact that it was a novella. But so, yeah, for me the story was way too, I mean, it all was too fast-paced for me. I like Sanderson's epic work, so where he takes his time to develop the story, and the novella that I read, I also felt like he was still taking his time with it. But here everything was super fast-paced. And that combined with the fact that it was a detective story, police procedural format, which is a format that I do not like. I never watch detective or police series on TV because I just do not care who did it. I do not care how they will resolve it. So yeah, for me this book was not it, and I just therefore also only gave it a 1-star rating. I cannot judge whether the book was well written or not, because to me it didn't feel well written. It felt like a struggle every single page. It felt like it was rushed, and like the author should have taken more time with expanding the novel. So in my opinion it wasn't well written, but I know that a lot of people who really liked the story have a different opinion about it, of course. So but yeah, for me Legion definitely didn't do it. I'm still considering maybe reading the sequel, just because they are just novellas, so it will be fast to get through, and I do really want to get to most of Brandon Sanderson's work, so maybe one day I will have to decide to do this or not. So yeah, Brandon Sanderson occupies the top spot on the order of books I read this year, but the bottom spot does not go to him. Even though I didn't like Legion, there's one book that I hated even more this year, and that is actually a reread for me, and that is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Now, I read this 3 years ago or something, but I couldn't remember I remembered one thing about this book. I remembered that there was a yoga scene in there that I really didn't like, but for the rest I didn't remember, and my Goodreads review for the first time that I read it actually was quite positive, or at least it didn't destroy the book. It did already mention that I felt like the book lost a lot of its pacing and a lot of its interest in the second half of the book, and that I hoped it would pick up in the second book again. But yeah, I really didn't like it when I got back into it. I mean, there were so many things wrong with it in my opinion, because it is considered like Twilight for adults, and now I really do see that analogy a lot more, because it is the same tropes coming back. So we are looking at a relationship between a vampire, in this case a witch, so not just a normal mortal, but like an enhanced mortal, so to speak. And we do look at like a relationship in which the dominance of the vampire is very much central, and the protectiveness of the vampire is very much emphasized. And yeah, this is also probably what was most annoying about it, is that at first you have hopes and there's definitely potential there. You know, the female character, Diana, is very much emancipated at the beginning of the book, so she doesn't believe in like holding doors open for females or anything like that, or she really stands her own. She goes rowing every single day. She is an academic, and she has a very good career and things like that, and she has a magical potential that is hinted at that it's going to be very, very big. And so there's all the hope is there that this person will that this will be an equal relation, things like that. But throughout the book I at least felt like she was reverting more and more to his authority, complying to his wishes, and at some point she even says like that she'll just have to live with whatever Matthew is with whatever like way in which Matthew is used to doing it, and not go for something more moderate, like compromising or something like that. Apart from that, the writing was also not good in my opinion. There's a lot of descriptions of clothing, what is being eaten, things like that, but like super many descriptions. I mean, you can definitely fit those into your story, but these were just like every single time you see a person, you're introduced to what are they wearing, what are they eating, and which makes it seem like it's more about what people wear and what they're eating than about the story. There's just a lot of editing that should have happened in this book. So yeah, I'm not gonna go further into it. You can see my full review for it. I will link it down below. I might also try and do a comparison between A Discovery of Witches and the TV series that is out now, because I still need to get to a book versus movie video for this month. So this is gonna be such a super busy month for me, but okay, I will try to squeeze that in still. So yeah, hopefully you'll still get a book versus movie video this month, and that'll probably be about A Discovery of Witches. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure anymore what's the program for tomorrow, so you'll just have to be surprised by it. So see you guys tomorrow.